and I would like to introduce you the first time we invited to deliver a keynote speech on an E21 forum. It's one of the global leaders in storage solution service to share the ecosystem of opportunity. So please join me to welcome Mr. KB Ng, Product Marketing Director Asia Pacific from HGST。各位观众，现在我们要为您介绍首度受邀于E21 Forum 进行专题演讲的储存方案服务领导者厂商 HGST 来分享云端运算巨量资料的处理。所以各位朋友，请借我您的双手，让我们一起来掌声欢迎 HGST 亚太区行销总监黄庆明先生，好吗？来，我们掌声欢迎黄先生。好，我们再一次掌声欢迎 Mr.
各位下午好。Good afternoon, everybody. I'm KB from HGST, a Western digital company, and I'm very glad to be able to spend some time with you guys. We'd like to share some of our hyperscale data center, what we learned working with them, with you guys. And some of the information that we discussed today consists of forward-looking statements, so things are subject to change. And before we move on, I think it's important that I introduce and give you a quick overview of who is HGST, because some of the people think it's an acronym or abbreviation of something. And at 2003, Hitachi Limited acquired IBM and formed Hitachi Global Storage Technologies. And as you guys know, IBM is the company that created disk drive and have a rich legacy of disk drive technologies. And at 2012, which was just last year, Western Digital Corporation acquired Hitachi Global Storage Technologies and formed a new market leader. But because of China MOFCOM requirement, Western Digital Corporation has to create two independent subsidiaries, HGST and WD. And these two companies currently remain as competitors. And a very quick overview of Hitachi product portfolio. We manufacture products ranges from traditional hard disk drive to solid state drive. Our customer segments range from cloud data center to traditional PC to consumer electronics and to external storage. And let's move closer to the main discussion today, the evolving data center. This is a fun photo that we got out from our archive. And data center has evolved so much that in the 50s, this is what it looks like then. During then, the cloud probably meant what you could see in the sky, right? And big data was probably what you could see data with a bigger font size. And during then, in the whole world, there's probably no more than 5 computers at this size. And during then, people probably would not imagine for every household, there's a need for at least one PC and a few connected devices. Okay? And I wonder if this guy has a chance to step into one of the modern days data center, which can be as large as 10 football fields, how would he feel? Our digital world is changing very rapidly. There are a couple of mega trends that reshape the way we interact with our digital devices, data, and content. And a vicious cycle of mobility and online have emerged. And it has changed our everyday, it has become part of our everyday work life and personal life. Cisco has predicted that by end of this year, there'll be more connected mobile devices than world populations. And with streaming content, social networking, mobility, and new usage models, we are actually creating, transferring, and storing data at unprecedented rate. And today we have entered the zettabyte era. How big is a zettabyte? Anybody knows? Zettabyte is 10 to the power of 21. Yes, 21 zeros. So it's a very big number, even for the scientists. And as this new ecosystem continues to evolve, storage has emerged to be the main theme of all these new services. And how do we see cloud? Different people actually have a different definition for what a cloud is. And so at HGST, we have a broader definition of cloud. Basically, it's anything that you can access through LAN or the internet, via web browser or application, and what you are accessing can be infrastructure, services, compute, and storage. And the entire online world can be divided into two groups. One is cloud compute, which is the thing that we use to build our online businesses. And the other group, online lifestyle, is what we use in our daily life and work life. For example, bring your own device to work, and its associated application is a very good example. And what is hyperscale? A lot of people ask this question, how big is the cloud? So it really depends on what you are talking about. Are you talking about, what kind of clouds you're talking about? Is it public cloud, private cloud, or community cloud? And what you are dealing with, is it cloud computing, is it social networking, or is it content delivery? And one way to realize how busy is internet traffic or how big is the cloud is to, one way to do it is there's this interesting website by the name domo.com, and it has a very neat table packed with all the key services in the world. And if you click on one of the key services, it will tell you the internet traffic at that minute when you click. For example, when you click at YouTube here, it will tell you how many videos are being downloaded at a minute. So with the scope and scale of all these services, data center actually has to worry about how to control the acquisition and running costs. Why is that? Everybody knows most of these services are given free. So data center managers are under a lot of cost pressure. And to support data growth from increase of internet traffic, data center has to scale rapidly to sizes that previously that we never heard of. And there's a big jump in the number of servers, number of storage arrays, power consumption, networking equipment. So this requires new technologies to come into play to manage all these cost challenges. And by working with leading hyperscale data centers, we can identify a list of common challenges that they have. The challenges can range from managing the big increase in number of servers, storage arrays, networking equipment, and so forth, and to dealing with number of failure drives, right? As we know, cloud never sleeps, and cloud tend to make small problem big. So dealing with hyperscale, there's a lot of things that we have to manage. And we discussed about hyperscale and pain points, and which lead to ecosystem changes. Previous solution previously used by the biggest cloud players in the world now are being adopted by smaller data center. And service providers now are experimenting with the DIY method, which define and build data center according to the specific application needs and workload. And purchasing decision is no more made basing on unit cost of the device. It's based on total cost of ownership. And at the heart of the ecosystem evolution is the changing role of data storage. It's no more a commodity, but it is a broad portfolio of products with solution optimized for the needs of various applications and workload. Let's look at total cost of ownership, which is a very important topic today. What is total cost of ownership? Is basically when you select a device, the total cost incurred using the device, including all the direct and indirect costs, and also includes all the capital expenditure and operating expenditure. When it comes to TCO, short form for total cost of ownership, and how data center rely on what kind of parameters to manage costs. There are 6 parameters here that we like to briefly introduce. 4 of them, you want to minimize them, right? Reduce them as much as possible. And the other 2, you want to maximize them for best TCO results. Cooling efficiency and power consumption. This is related to power. You want these 2 parameters to be as small as possible. And acquisition cost, the measurement is $ per gigabyte, or even better, $ per terabyte. And the system weight refers to the total data center loading. Certain countries, the loading is regulated. You cannot exceed the certain weightage. And the other 2 parameters, density, footprint, and long-term reliability. These 2, you want to maximize them for better TCOs. And one thing I want to point out here is if you increase the drive storage capacity, you can maximize the overall TCOs, because each of the parameters will be reduced or increased accordingly if you switch to a bigger capacity drive. And also, there's one parameter here, long-term reliability, is a very key consideration when you design and purchase equipment for data center. Because data center is 24/7 by 365, it's mission critical, and you always want to select the highest reliability drive that you can get hold of. The highest reliability drive in the market right now is at 2 million MTBF, and which is standard across all HGST enterprise products. So this is a pretty good example showing you how shifting to higher capacity drive could improve TCO results. If you want to deploy a 3 petabyte solution, and you can have 4 options. And one is, use 1 TB drive, or 2 TB, 3 TB, or 4 TB. If you use 1 TB drive to deploy, the total number of drives that you require is as many as 3,000, right? It's close to 3,000. And the number of servers, 240. And you're going to need 12 racks and 12 switches. But as you upgrade to 2 TB, 3 TB, and 4 TB, you can see the amount of space and equipment that you need, being reduced drastically. By the time you reach to 4 TB, as much as 75% of space and power can be saved. So it is very critical that when it comes to managing TCO, you want to upgrade to the highest capacity drive that you can get hold of. And people say it again, at hyperscale, small problem becomes big, and similar thing applies to power. At scale, every watt matters, right? In this example, let's consider a mid-sized data center, right? Mid-sized data center, 25,000 servers, and every server there's 12 drive, and you want to, maintain the data center with these devices for 5 years, and 24/7. And the amount of energy that you can save, if the disk drive can save you 1 watt per drive, it can save you almost $1 million US. So the savings of switching over to a lower power consumption, bigger capacity drive is very substantial. So this is another example of showing you what higher capacity drive and lower power consumption drive can do to you in terms of enhancing your TCO results. And let's look at the reliability aspect of the parameter, what it can do to you on TCO. In this example, we use 2 different examples. One is a drive with 2 million hours MTBF. By the way, MTBF is a way to measure how reliable is a disk drive, right? Mean time before failures. And on the other hand, if we compare against a disk drive that is at a lower reliability rating, 1.2, and what is the difference? The chart on the left can illustrate to you, if you use a lower MTBF drive, the incremental failure per year is on an escalation path. So every year you have to come up with more disk drive, you have to purchase more disk drive to maintain your data center. So it can cost you, in the long term, a lot of cost because you pick a lower MTBF drive. And another way to look at how a bigger capacity drive can improve your TCO is throwing some CAPEX and OPEX analysis. The pie chart on the left, the bigger one, is a data center populated with smaller capacity drives. So it's much bigger than the one on the right, which is populated with a higher capacity disk drive solution. And we can see data center CAPEX is about 50%. And this data center CAPEX does not include disk drive because disk drive is separated out, and disk drive CAPEX on the left pie chart again is about slightly more than 25%. But if you upgrade your disk drive capacity to a higher capacity, you can see the overall TCO, the overall cost of data center is shrunk very substantially, even though hard disk drive CAPEX becomes a more significant proportion of the new pie chart. So this shows upgrading to higher capacity drive, again, saves you a lot of CAPEX and OPEX money. And also because disk drive, if you upgrade to a higher capacity drive, disk drive is now a more significant proportion of your overall data center expenditure. And to understand disk drive roadmap and features that can help you to achieve better TCO results has become more critical than ever. Okay, tiering. Tiering is another way to achieve better TCO. And the tiering, basically, we leverage multiple tiers of storage devices, multiple classes of storage devices to strike a balance among performance, capacity, and cost. And our research team work with leading data centers in the world, and we come up with this continual spectrum of applications, with one end of the application being high-frequency trading, big data analytics, and the other spectrum is cold storage and archiving. The first spectrum we mentioned requires the highest performance solution, storage solution that you can get. And on the other extreme, applications like cold storage and archiving, it requires the biggest drive, the biggest capacity drive, and the lowest TCO solution that, that you can offer. And also from our research, we also find out that application is no more a monolithic object. So in this chart, it's no more one single box by itself. It's actually a collection of tasks which has very different compute and storage needs. In this chart, you can also see that we use different color to highlight the collection of tasks which belong to the same application. In this chart, we can just pick an example like the green color boxes, big data analytics, right? On the one hand, this particular task require a very high performance drive. And on the other hand, big data storage, the other green box, requires big capacity drive solution. So this new tiering landscape, new tiering requirement actually will drive a lot of requirements for different storage solutions. So it's no more a one-size-fits-all, kind of a situation that we have previously. So to map product roadmap, to map product portfolio onto the landscape of applications that we have, the product portfolio can be deployed in such fashion. At the two extremes, we have PCIe solution, which is the highest performance solution that we could go get. And the other growth area is cold storage solution, which the industry is also developing solutions on. And the other three boxes in the middle are existing products that are in mass production right now. And they are SSD, which are SLC and MLC, and followed by 10K, 15K SAS HDD, and followed by 7,000 RPM SAS and SATA drive. So big data is a very good example of tier storage application, right? Big data, and it's a very hot topic right now. When we talk about big data, we need to understand the three V's, right? One is a variety of data, and followed by volume of data and velocity of data. Variety of data basically refers to the data can come from all kinds of sources. It can be, and also in the different formats. They can be photos, they can be text, they can be blogs, they can be video, they can be almost anything. And volume of data is an important part of the discussion here. Volume of data, basically, we know for big data, it works on huge set of information. And this information is so huge that it's often described as very awkward to work with using traditional IT methods. And not only big data itself involves a huge data set, big data also creates data, right? Creates data for decision making, creates data for spotting trends. And on top of that, big data creates things which we call metadata, right? Metadata describe the data set itself. So big data does create a lot of information. On top of that itself is a big collection of information. Velocity refers to the speed of acquiring data, transferring data, and speed of decision making. So the trends for these three V's are data has become very unstructured. And also data volume moves from terabyte to petabyte and exabyte. And velocity of data, instead of batch processing in the past, it has become real time because of online applications. What is the implication? The implication is it's going to drive the demand for more tier storage applications because it's going to require more SSD for decision making and more capacity drives to store all this high volume of data. So we got asked a lot, whether SSD, flash SSD will replace hard disk drive in the near term. So let's look at this. From this chart, we can see from a pricing trend standpoint, even though SSD prices have declined steadily over the last few years. And so is enterprise HDD. And here we are comparing to enterprise SSD to enterprise HDD so that we compare apple to apple. And we don't see any crossing of SSD and HDD pricing trends in the future. This is because from an area density growth standpoint, SSD and enterprise HDD, they are on parallel path. So long as the area density growth is on parallel path, it is not likely that the pricing curves will cross each other. Also from business volume standpoint, yes, enterprise SSD is growing very fast. So is capacity enterprise drive. So therefore, we don't see SSD replacing HDD in the near future, but we see them as complementary tier storage solutions. So something quite exciting that I'd like to talk about today, new technologies that will affect disk drive capacity trend. And first, we undertook a project looking at how much data was actually created and stored in the past. And even though this is a very difficult task, but it is not difficult to find out that a lot of information in the past was created than stored, right? And the ratio between information that is stored and information that is created and information that is stored is as much as 4:1. So there's actually a lot of opportunities if the disk drive industry could come up with a method to capture the unstored data as well. Why is capturing unstored data important? Because from big data experience, we know some of these information can be of value in terms of making decisions and spotting trends. And this information can be from scientific projects. They can be analog information, they can be low resolution images. Previously was not stored because data acquisition cost and TCO is just too high and too prohibitive. And the industry is setting on the term cold storage. This is another important future trend. The definition of cold storage is information that is written once but seldom retrieved, if ever retrieved. This is different from tape drive solution because when it comes to cold storage application, when online services customer need the data, you need to provide the data very fast. So tape drive solution is not going to be good here. We can look at all this curve on on the right-hand side, cold storage solution is going to require a price point that is substantially below enterprise drive solution today. It's so substantially lower than enterprise drive that is even lower than desktop drive pricing. So the new solutions for cold storage is going to be able to strike a balance between performance and capacity at a price point substantially below today's technologies. So there are two ways to increase capacity for this drive. And one is to increase the area density of each of the platter. Right? You just pack more information on each of the platter of this drive. And the other one is to increase the number of platters within the same disk drive. And the first method is getting tougher and tougher. Previously, disk drive industry, when you move from 500 gig to 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte, you probably can move to double the capacity within 1-2 years. But right now, the whole industry has area density challenge. So to double capacity fast is no more feasible, right? So HGST look at how to increase the number of platters within the same drive. We think this is a more realistic way to increase near-term capacity more quickly. However, if you want to increase the number of the platters within the same form factor, you have a challenge. Because you need to make the platter within the disk drive thinner. If you want to make the platter thinner in disk drive, you tend to have this term called fluttering, right? When you spin a thinner platter of information at fast speed, the disk drive will wobble. So to resolve this technological challenge, HGST created a way by inject helium into a disk drive and have it sealed. And as we know, helium the density is only 1/7 of gas, of air. So it can bring a lot of wonderful benefits to the TCO results, which I'm going to show you guys. Okay, at similar performance and similar form factor, using helium inside a drive, we basically can increase the number of platters from 5 to 7. With that, you can enjoy at least 40% more capacity. And because helium is a lot thinner than air, it has less drag on motor parts. And the drive can spin at the same RPM, but at a lower power consumption. So it requires less power to operate the drive. And because helium is 4% cooler than air, it requires less power to cool the data center. And because the drive is sealed, helium drive, sealed drive is more robust and is quieter. So these are just some of the benefits that we are sure that helium drive can bring to the industry. So let's look at some of the TCO, similar TCO and CAPEX, OPEX analysis that we threw earlier on. Switching from a traditional 5-disk design to a 7-disk sealed drive design, you can save TCO as much as 33%. So this is very substantial savings and a great solution for hyperscale data center. Another great thing about sealed drive is not only that it provides a solid capacity growth foundation for the next 10 years, helium drive can also work with other future magnetic recording technologies such as SMR and HAMR. I'm wrapping up the presentation today. So cloud social networking, increase in mobile connected devices, and also the emergence of hyperscale data center, and availability of new technologies have completely redefined IT, compute, storage ecosystems. And more customers and more new type of customers will join the ecosystem, adding complexity and challenges to the ecosystem, but it will bring a lot more opportunities. At the heart of all these trends and growth is this drive is data storage. I hope today's discussion is informative, and hope you have a better understanding of cloud storage ecosystem and HGST cloud storage solutions. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation.
Okay, thanks Mr. Ng for the great presentation. I believe his sharing will inspire the industry to bring more unique computing experience for users worldwide. So, here we are for the last round of Lucky Draw. Please have your tickets ready with you on your hand and pay attention to the numbers I will announce later. If you are a lucky winner, once again, please yell loudly so I can hear you and see your hands up in the air highly, so I can secure the prizes for you. OK， 各位朋友，我们现在开始做最终场的大奖幸运抽奖活动喽。这一场呢，有2个非常棒的奖项，是由我们丽晶酒店所提供的巴厘岛跟普吉岛的双人旅游丽晶酒店住宿券，所以呢，请把你手上的抽奖券准备好，我们现在就要开始进行公开的抽奖哦。很抱歉，现在不能投了，因为我们刚才有开放最后的时间让大家投入抽奖券哦，所以现在不能投了，很抱歉。那再次提醒各位哦。我待会呢讲出这个幸运号码，如果你是那个幸运的得主，请记得除了高举双手之外呢，请大喊出声，让我确定你人在现场，要不然我们奖项呢就会另外抽出来送给别人喽。好，把你的耳朵竖直喽，我们现在要抽出幸运得主，可以把这个巴厘岛的住宿券带回家的人会是谁呢？好，让我们用力搅，用力搅。哎，不对，我们可不可以请刚刚的演讲者那个黄庆明先生来帮我们抽，好不好？他的手比我长一点。来，我们掌声欢迎黄先生出场。来 ，Mr. Ng, would you please help us to draw out the lucky winner who can have the hotel package provided from Region Bali? Okay. Stir, stir, stir. Okay, it was the lucky winner. The number is
000252.
000252 000252在不在现场？赶快大喊出声！000252在不在？祝先生在不在现场？第2次喽。最后一次，000252，祝先生在不在现场？好，大家一起大声的喊，不在。不在。太好了，那我们就请黄总监帮我们再抽出一位。好，来，这位幸运的朋友是谁呢？来
001276
001276在不在？001276第2次喽，刘小姐001276第3次喽，不在呀，太好了。那我们先看一段影片好不好？这样子呢，搞不好呢，那个影片的声音呢，可以吸引更多的朋友回到我们现场来参与抽奖，好不好？我们先来watch a video provided by Regent Hotel, OK? Let's see. OK， 看完这个影片，我都好心动，好想去那里度假哟！经营酒店泰鲁阁的行馆套房真的太棒了耶！那我相信呢，在巴厘岛呢，还有普吉岛的那个 view 一定是更棒、更 fabulous 啊！所以呢，好，我们的行销总监黄先生，请再来帮我们借用您的金手，帮我们抽出这2位幸运的朋友。第一位幸运朋友呢，可以获得是巴厘岛的，看看是谁呢？好，幸运号码是
001750。
001750，赖先生在不在现场？我听到好像有喊右了，是吗？在那边。好，恭喜这位赖先生，恭喜你，我也姓赖哦，太棒了，本家的。好，来黄先，我们再大力的缴获一下好吗？我们再来看看最后一位幸运的朋友可以获得普吉岛哦 ，Phuket Island Free Hotel Luggage。Who's the winner？ 紧张吗？来，前3个数字是
000。
好，第4个数字是
9。
第5个数字是
9。
好，有多少人有的号码是00099呢？举个手我看一下，举个手00099哦，蛮多人的哦。好。紧张的时候到了，最后一个数字是
5。
000995，在不在现场？大家都赶快喊不在耶！再一次哦，第2次机会，000995，李怡安在不在现场？第2次喽，好，第3次了，000995，跟我一起大声喊。好，确定不在喽，太棒了，黄总监，我们再来一次。来，我们看看最后一个大奖，奖落谁家？能不能留在台湾呢？是不是我们台湾的民众可以获得呢？哇哦，好 ，The lucky number is
3个0。
3个0哦，第4个数字是
2。
第5个数字是
4。
好，有多少是00024的呢？有没有？请举个手。好，太棒了，我们删掉了一大半的人了。好，最后一个数字
5，
跟刚刚一样哦。最后一个数字是5，000245，在不在？000245。第2次喽，最后一次。000245，不在啊！真是的，太棒了！我们再抽一次，我们一定要抽到那个人在现场才可以，因为他是我们最佳的支持者哦。好，我想这个一定在了哦，这个号码很漂亮哦。好，前4个数字是0009，哦，又是0009哦。好，第5个数字
1。
我看到已经有人跃跃欲试，要把手举起来了。最后一个号码
6。
000916，在不在？000916，在吗？2次喽。 000916，确定不在啊？啊，真是太 lucky 了！我们今天居然可以抽这么多的人哦。这些人呢，我们会后打电话给他，觉得他们实在是怎么都不留到最后呢？把大好的机会送给别人了。来，这位是好
001685，
在，恭喜这位先生，恭喜你！好，王胜元先生，恭喜你！好，谢谢我们的黄总监，谢谢 ，Thank you for help us。OK， 再次恭喜这2位赖先生跟王先生获得我们今天的最大奖哦。那离去之前呢，提醒各位朋友，您手上的问卷呢，请帮我们填写完整，交给大门口出口2侧的工作人员呢，你就可以获得精美的兑换率。你的意见呢，是我们成长最大的动力，千万要帮我们回收这个问卷调查表哦。另外提醒您，离去的同时，别忘了你个人随身携带的物品。谢谢您陪伴我们今天的E21 Forum， 谢谢大家，祝大家有个愉快的夜晚。Thank you for you joining us today at E21 Forum 2013. Before you leave the plenary hall, I would like to remind you, don't forget your personal belongings. And please help us to fill up the survey form and return to our reception counter. And we will give you a giveaway, a prize in return. And thank you for your cooperation and have a nice evening. Thank you. Goodbye.